Congrats on this latest project of yours as a writer of Magpie. I thought this movie was wonderful.
Thanks so much, man. Yeah, we it's kind of amazing being here talking about it. It's from the inception of Daisy's idea, getting in the car, telling me, asking me if I thought it was a good idea to us being here, sharing it with the world. It feels very special. So thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. And I was going to ask about that. I mean, could you talk more about sort of the inception and how it all started and how it got to the full-fledged script for you?
Yeah, so Daisy had the initial idea. She was working on a movie out in Canada, and she had a little girl playing her little daughter in it. And Daisy became fascinated with, children have no ability to lie or comment on. They are just present in their experience. And so she found it incredible that this little girl at points almost believed Daisy to be her mum, and Daisy was just fascinated by this, the blur of reality that can happen when people are creating things and pretending. And so I picked her up from the airport and was driving us home. And she, in her jet lagged, just off a flight state, said, "What do you think? I think this could be a really cool idea for a movie." And we talked about making something together before. I've been writing for a few years, and she's been so enthusiastic and supportive of my writing. And she said, "Do you think you want to write it and we can make it together?" And I said, "Oh my God, yeah, mate, oh God, that would be so fun. Leave it with me. I'm going to think about it." Usually, I wouldn't even share an idea with Daisy until I'd been ruminating on it and writing it for about 6 months. But about 2 days later, she said, "So I've set us up with a pitch with these producers." And I went, "That's crazy." So we pitched to them, and 2 days later, they called back and said, "We're really interested. We'd love to develop this with you, Kate Solomon." And so I was given the task to effectively write this script yesterday. They were like, "We need this like ASAP. Let's go." So I set my alarm at 4 a.m. every day and took a jug of coffee to this little barn. And I would just write for like 4 or 5 hours. Daisy would come down in the morning, read what I'd written. I'd pace up and down, chain smoking nervously. And then she would say, "Oh, I really like this. I don't like that so much. Confused about that." And so she helped me steer it and was my like sounding board all the way along. And I think I turned in the first draft after about 2 weeks. And yeah, we just went from there. But it was interesting that Daisy's initial idea was an actress infiltrating a family. That's where she thought it would go. But as I was writing, after about a week or so, I started to get more and more fascinated by this woman left at home who was witnessing this disintegration and slowly threatened family unit. And I said to Daisy, "Listen, I know you were thinking," and Daisy was like, "I think I want to play this actress. That'd be a cool role." And I just said to her, like, "I'm being honest, like, I think you might be more interested in the woman left at home. For me, creatively writing this, I'm fascinated by this woman, like how much pressure I can put her under, what happens to a woman to have withstood this for so long. She must have a strength in her. What happens to that strength if you just keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it?" I was super interested in, and Daisy very quickly thought, "Yeah, it's her story. It's Annette's story."
Yeah, 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 of course. Yeah, and I mean, she nails the role, and it's always fun to hear about, behind the scenes where like an actor was supposed to play the other role, and then you find out, and this was, I mean, yeah, she nailed it, and it's a wonderful end result. So yeah, that's very interesting to hear. And I also wanted to ask, I sort of asked Sam about it, and he's like, talk to Tom. But, the
Yeah.
title Magpie, I'd love to hear from you how you landed on that as a title with this wonderful story, twisty, and I don't know if you were juggling other ideas and or maybe it was Magpie all along.
No, I mean the name I remember. I think it came pretty early. I literally came to the moment where I had to save something on my laptop in Final Draft, and you have to put a name on the file.
Yeah.
And I didn't put one immediately, but then I did. So I was like, "Oh, you're going to name this," and really in naming it, you're kind of distilling down what the story's kind of about, which for a story is ambitious, I think, and complex in terms of its themes. It was kind of difficult, but um, it's also interesting because in America and in North America, I don't think you guys quite have the same um, mythology around magpies as we do back in the UK. So in the UK, magpies on they're known to be attracted to shiny objects. They don't know what the objects are, but they know they're shiny and they kind of want it. And it's kind of it's that kind of, if someone is described as a magpie, it's, they're seduced easily. There's the shiny object. And I thought that was pretty appropriate to not just one character in this, but kind of all of them. Who is the shiny object? Who is the magpie? What do we covet? Why? What really has got value? Like, Shazad's character seeing this shiny person that he doesn't really know who she is, but he kind of projects onto it. But really, he's got this fucking incredible shiny thing back at home, this amazing wife and children. But also magpies, the reason they're unlucky in the UK, if you see them on their own, one for sorrow, this is because magpies mate for life. And the idea is, if you, some of the very few animals in the animal kingdom that do, if you see a magpie on its own, the idea being is they have lost their love, and it is a sort of a bad omen. Um, so that kind of all became addictive. And once I put in magpie, it kind of just stuck, and everyone went, yeah. And a lot of people said, I kind of love it. It's ambiguous enough, but the film itself is question mark over, it hopefully challenges the perspective and the understanding of an audience. So even its name, I hope, would give, in a meta sort of way, an intrigue of what is that? And I think, aha, you are the magpie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I was kind of going down the rabbit hole, trying to figure it out for myself. But yeah, that's very interesting to hear from you. And yeah, it's a great title. So I think that's perfect. That's great. And I mean, yeah, it's a wonderful cast, and I mean, it's no spoilers, of course, but I mean, I love the twist at the end. I love the whole movie, how it builds to that, certain big reveals. And did you sort of have those framed in your mind? I know you're talking about the writing process, but like, those third act moments, I mean, did you kind of have those in your mind all along, or did they sort of come to you, later, you know?
No, I didn't. No, not at all. I didn't have them. To be perfectly honest with you, as I said, it all happened so quickly. Of yes, let's make this thing, that I didn't have a clear structure of what was going to happen. As I said, I was even shifting whose story it was for quite a while,
Right.
because it's not usually how I work. Usually, how I write the other things I've written, as I said, I don't even share them with Daisy. I sort of have an idea, and I write, and I start writing, and I make notes, and I write, and I write a synopsis, and then write a first draft and challenge, and then I share it with her. This was totally new, this experience for me, because it was creating it with someone who was almost watching me do it. So I didn't have any idea of where I wanted it to go. But as I was writing it and reminding myself that what we're trying to capture is something that challenges people's perspective and perception of the characters they're watching, we hopefully, an audience judges and overlooks and projects onto these characters that we're presenting. So be that Matilda Lutz's character, Alicia, we think of her as one thing, this other woman, but actually she's not that. And you think of Ben as this great dad and this idyllic husband. He's not that. And you think of Daisy's character as this put upon, crushed woman. She's not that. So I was interested in that. And I thought, about a few weeks into writing these drafts, I thought I'd love to take that even further and challenge an audience's perspective of the narrative itself, and to make them question not only, because I would love, and I think we've captured this from some audience feedback, people going, my God, I can't believe I judged this woman, and I can't believe I judged this man, and I thought this of him and it wasn't. But I wanted to push that further, as I said, to make people go, oh my God, I thought I was watching this movie, but all along I was watching this one. um, and so as soon as I had that in my head, I couldn't let go of it. And I went back and I watched a whole bunch of movies that do that so successfully, like Christopher Nolan's Memento does it so brilliantly, Gone Girl. And I wanted to emulate those experiences for an audience of thinking you're never cheating, and you're keeping an audience engaged, that they know something's not right. Like Memento, you go, I know something's not right. I know that there's more to this than meets the eye. But it's not until the end where you go, oh, hang on, I think
Yeah.
I get it. I wanted
Yeah.
to create an experience for an audience,
Yeah.
which was super challenging to do, and I'd never done anything like it in my writing before. So it was adding to my workload, but it was really it really paid off creatively, and I found it very fulfilling. And it's something that happened even throughout shooting it. The actors were saying, which version do I play of this
Yeah.
character? Do I do I play it like this or this? So Sam, our director, helped navigate them with that. And even Chris, our editor, he was like, do we show this? Is that too much? Is that too little? So it was a balancing act, all of us collaboratively doing the whole way.
Yeah. Well, it's great. That's a job well done, and yeah, it's a very cool viewing experience. So can't wait for everyone else to see it. And I
Yeah.
also wanted to ask, I mean, you're a wonderful actor as well, and you've been on the screen in a variety of projects, and you're in that wonderful series based on a true story. I just had to ask. I mean, I'm such a fan, and I know season two is coming out. So I was just curious how that experience has been, being on this, in front of the camera for a series like that. And if there's anything you could share about the upcoming season, because I know a lot of people are excited.
Yeah, I it's so fun that show. And I mean again, all these things feed in of my character in that is not what he seems. And interestingly enough, I was shooting that series while we were shooting Magpie back home. So I couldn't actually be on set for Magpie. I'd watch the dailies every day, but I was struck by that. Oh, I'm playing a character here who's not what he seems. He's pretending and you trick an audience into thinking another. But it's a really fun show to do and be a part of. The old saying is the bad guy gets all the best lines, and I feel very lucky with that character that I get to be. It's a really fun character to play, and the opportunity to play him for a second season was so great. I know a lot of shows didn't get picked up, at this time. So to be one of the shows that Universal decided to go again with was really special, and we were all so happy. And we knew there was more to be done. It was such an interesting, fun idea. We knew there was way more track to run on this. And something about coming back for season two was really it gave you like a badge of like, wow, people really like this. They got what we were trying to do. It's a very quirky, different show. Like it's a bizarre tone and it's very strange. And the worry when we were creating it was, are people going to respond to this? Are they going to get what we're trying to do and trying to say? So the fact that they did was really special. And we finished season two. In fact, Daisy was, I don't watch my stuff because I get in my own head about it, but Daisy's been watching the screeners they've sent me and she's said it's super fun. She's 6 episodes in and it does go in a totally new direction. It doesn't pick up where you think it will. Like season one ends on that cliffhanger. Season two picks up somewhere totally new, totally different. It'll hopefully confuse an audience. And by the time you come and see what's happened to my character, the dude looks totally different and he's singing a very different song. And again, the fun thing of is he what he seems to be? He's playing all these games, and we've got these new great writers on. So being part of that while they were writing, while creating, you don't start that series with all the scripts done. They create go, which is fascinating to be a part of because you go, my God, what's going to happen? Like I'd be like an audience member. They send me the scripts that we're about to shoot like the week later, and I'd be like, wait, I do what? This is crazy.
Yeah, well, that's great. I can't wait to see season two. And in the meantime, I can't wait for everyone else to see Magpie, like I said. So congratulations again on it. And I can't wait to see your next writing project.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.